All right, I got my tennis shoes on, I got my press pass, I got my microphone. Hi ho, it's off to work I go. It's D23.
Ladies and gentlemen, we invite you to live your own Star Wars adventure starting in 2019 at Walt Disney World and Disneyland Resort.
Tell you what, in this place it's not what you know, but who you know. And I know Scott, and Scott's gonna get up close and personal on this great exhibit. Sir, what's going on here today?
Yeah, well, so we're right here in Anaheim at the D23 Expo, and we've unveiled our scale model of the Star Wars themed land for the very first time. Right
Yeah.
now, Anaheim residents might be able to see some of the construction that's happening over at Disneyland, right? And that is because we're well underway, but this is the first time that we're actually kind of showing people what that land will eventually look like when it's all complete.
Yeah. Now walk us through not only the exhibit, but when the completed project is done, what can we expect to see?
Yeah, it is the largest land expansion that Disneyland has ever done.
Yeah.
And you know, that's appropriate for Star Wars, because Star Wars is a huge set of stories and a whole universe filled with characters and amazing places to go. And we're bringing a little piece of that to Anaheim here with our Star Wars themed land.
Yeah. Now, and at the actual Star Wars land itself, we'll see characters. Can you break any of that information yet? It's pretty quiet.
For sure, you're gonna have an opportunity to meet characters, some that are really familiar and you know really well, some you may be meeting for the very first time.
Yeah.
And going on adventures, having experiences. It's everything you'd expect out of the most immersive land we've ever done.
Right.
The real difference this time is, instead of watching somebody else's Star Wars story or being reminded about somebody else's Star Wars story, we're inviting you to live your Star Wars story.
Yeah.
So it's much more interactive, much more participatory than other lands we've done before.
Now tell us about your personal involvement.
So I work with the teams that develop all of our Star Wars content. I guess I lead those teams that do our Star Wars content all over the globe in our parks and resorts. And if you think about it, Star Wars and Disney parks have actually had a 30-year history, so this is not new. And it all began in Anaheim when Star Tours opened at Disneyland in 1987. Right. So since that time, Star Wars and Disney parks have been together.
How has the general response been from the site so far?
You know, it's really exciting to see the guest reaction. We've been working on this in kind of, secret for a couple of years now, but being able to invite the guests in to see what's in store for Disneyland is really super exciting, and the reaction has been incredibly positive.
Yeah, and in closing, I'm almost 70 years old, man. As I walked through the doors, I felt the same way I did, 60 years ago when I first came into Disney. What is the Disney mystique, and how does that work, through generation after generation?
Well, I'm so glad to hear that, and I think that, one of the things that makes a Disney experience different and kind of like specifically a Disney experience, it's hard to put your finger on one thing. It's the quality of execution. It's the tone, right? That kind of like that sense of positive optimism that makes a Disney story a Disney story,
yeah.
And a sense that when you're in one of our Disney parks, anything is possible, right? And that's all goes back to that legacy, Walt's original legacy, right? That all began in Anaheim.
Careful.